Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Simon's Metabolics and Weight Loss Ask Me Anything Facebook Live event. It's Monday, the 9th of August. I almost said the 9th of July. It didn't seem like the month is July is over. Yes, but it's the 9th of August. We are open today in both the locations, as always. I'm Dr. Wickham Simons, for those of you who don't know me. I always laugh. Went to the Luke Bryan concert a couple of weeks ago. And at the end of the concert, he goes around and tells every member of his band, he says, and then he finishes by saying, and I'm Luke. As if we didn't know. Okay, I feel kind of like that. This is Michelle Kennedy. I think most of you know her also. America's foremost nurse practitioner in the field of obesity medicine. So today we're talking CBD.
Yes.
You've got questions and we have answers. So we're going to give away a Target gift card again today.
Yep, we're doing it again. We need you to do two things in order to enter. We'll let you know at the end of the show if you've won. We need you to like this video, and then we need you to comment hashtag SimonsAMA in the comment section. You can also ask us any live questions you need if you're currently watching this live. They are recorded to share later. But if you're live, let us know you're watching in the comments. Let us know if you have questions about CBD as we roll through this stuff.
That is correct. So let's start with CBD. What is it? So I think maybe clearing up some misconceptions. CBD is not marijuana. I like to start out just by saying that because I think people are just kind of confused. More and more of the population understands, but still there's a lot of people who don't understand that hemp plant is a plant that makes this family of oils that we call cannabinoids that have very beneficial medicinal effect. Okay, now one type of hemp plant that we call marijuana makes a type of oil called delta-9 tetrahydrocannabidiol or delta-9 THC. And that's the one that you've seen, or maybe, I know none of you ever smoked it or anything before when you were in high school or college or whatever, but everyone knows somebody who has, they smoke it, and they get the munchies and all this other sort of thing, act silly and laugh all the time, and they're very happy. Well, that is the psychoactive delta-9 THC that's doing that. So the federal government in 2018 implemented a farm bill that allowed the industrial production of hemp for the purpose of making supplements and stuff that did not have, that it had less than 0.3% of the plant being THC. Okay, so although technically there is a very small amount in there, and it's not enough to get anyone high or anything like that. And so you began to see, if you watched in 2018 to date, the CBD pop up everywhere. And this is what it is. It's oils from the plant. And I think it's important to realize as a general educational thing that there's a multitude of oils in the plant. Okay. And these have different medicinal properties. And where this whole thing is going to end up going is that there'll be what I call boutique cannabinoids. In other words, you vary the concentrations of the particular oils to get the desired medicinal effect that you're looking for. And we're going to tell you a little bit about that today with some of the products that we're carrying and what they address and why they're helpful. Okay. So with all that, let's start with Calvin's question from Durham. Calvin says, how can CBD enhance mood without causing an adverse event or adverse effect like feeling high? Okay, well, first of all, I just explained that CBD oil that's in compliance really doesn't have enough THC to make you high. Okay, so you won't get high using that. And there are two types really of what I call a bigger spectrum of hemp oil. You have full spectrum hemp oil. We've got some here. That includes all the oils in the hemp plant, including up to 0.3% of that can be THC.
Barely any.
Yeah, barely any. Okay. Yeah. Now, Michelle, we also have broad spectrum, right? Broad spectrum is different. That's right. It completely filters out and takes to absolute zero the THC.
What we give folks who worry about the THC content or who possibly could get urine drug screened and say, I don't want to risk it, because there is a very, very small chance that if you're doing this very routinely, or this one routinely, right, the full spectrum one, that it could show up positive on the urine drug screen. But this one, no chance.
No chance. That's right. So broad spectrum is the one that has absolute zero in the THC, the full spectrum as a spec in there potentially, and I suppose that could turn a drug test positive. Probably not, but if it did, I can't give you an assurance that it won't.
Right.
Okay, I can tell you won't get high from using it.
Right.
And to that extent, look, we get our stuff from Naternal. Naternal's a North Carolina company right here in Research Triangle Park, and I've seen every step of the manufacturing process, seed to oil. And not only are they in compliance, they aggressively test themselves every step of the way, and they bring in outside agencies to do it too. And they're very open. They publish all of their stuff on their website for anyone to see, so you can see, hey, number one, that it's in compliance. Number two, there's no pesticides, heavy metals, fungi, or anything like that growing in there. And for every lot number that's sold, this stuff is available on their internet site, and they are a company of integrity and high quality. So
not a lot of companies can say that. You will find a lot of brands of CBD oil out there, tinctures, gummies, everything. And you got to be really careful, because some of these things do have these contaminants that Naternal guarantees is not in there. So you do want to be picky when it comes to this. They're not all created equal.
Yeah. So back to your question, Calvin. I think that, look, there's a system in your body called the endocannabinoid system, and you make cannabinoid-like compounds in your body already, just like you make morphine-like compounds in your body for when you have pain. Your body has its own natural kind of pain relief system to help you. And so the bottom line is the action of this cannabinoid system generally improves mood when things bind these cannabinoid receptors. So if you were to regularly use CBD, I think you would come back and say, hey, I feel like my mood is better. I'm less depressed, for example. Now, we carry a product called CBD Rest. It has an additional amount. It has the regular. So it has the regular
everything that
full spectrum CBD, right? Plus it has an additional 5 milligrams of CBN, and CBN is one of the cannabinoids that helps you relax. And so if you're the anxious type of person, we tell people to take it before you go to bed to help them sleep. But the bottom line is, if you get really anxious, you have anxiety disorder, that sort of thing, I think it's worth trying that during the day. I think that you'll find it really, I found that on the golf course, using that when you're in a tight match and your nerves are, just settles you down, relax. You can.
So what these do is help you function completely normally, but at a better level of health and well-being and mood and less pain. So it really is something to consider, Calvin. I don't think you have to worry about the high feelings. It's just not going to happen. So thank you for joining, everyone. We are answering your weight loss questions today, specifically about CBD on our Ask Me Anything. Leave us a comment. Remember the $25 gift card we're giving away today, as usual on the show. So you got to like this video and comment #SimonsAMA in the comment section in order to be eligible. We'll do.
Okay,
we're back. Sorry about that.
Technical difficulties. We live in this era. So what makes CBD a good natural option? We've talked a little bit about the benefits. So the bottom line is, if you have pain, if you have trouble sleeping, if you have mood issues, you want to try this. I think it's great. I would say this. Look, the regular use of this thing, I personally feel like, will help you eat less. Now, I say the regular use of that because the endocannabinoid system does regulate your hunger in some ways. And I'm going to address the issue of how it might do that in Sam's question, which is the last question we get to today. So Melissa from Raleigh says, do you recommend age parameters on CBD use? How young and how old? Look, there, in my opinion, is no age limitation. So certainly not on the top end. It is approved in infants and children for refractory seizure disorder at 20 milligrams per kilogram per day, which is an enormous amount. It's like taking an entire bottle of oil and chugging it down. So its safety parameters have been established in very, very large doses. And I don't think that this is harmful for you. I don't think anyone could afford to drink it, by the way, in a long-sized container a day.
Most people don't need that.
Do that. Yes, that's correct. So I think it's safe to use, and I think that if you were going to use it medicinally in infants and small children, I would consult your pediatrician about how much to use.
It's going to be based weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mary from Apex, can CBD cause problems with other medications? My short answer to that is probably no for most medications. I think there's some worry that in anticoagulants it may affect that. And so I would say for most medications, it's safe. You could take it at a different time. You never know about the absorption of medicines plus the oils at the same time. It's not something that's been studied. So let's say you take your medicines at 8 in the morning, maybe take these at 11 in the morning, a few hours apart to allow both of them to get absorbed. That would be my only caution there. The Tanya from Wake Forest.
Can you take too much CBD or use it too much? What might happen?
You know, we kind of answered that.
Yeah,
It'd be very hard to take too much. And I just don't think that. And I'm an ER doctor by training, and so we've run into all sorts of poisoning situations, toxicity and poisoning, and dealing with the poison center. How do you take care of patients, admitting patients for overdose of various kinds? I'm unaware of anyone ever overdosing on CBD, a case requiring admission to the hospital. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that I think that if you're the kind of person who's considering taking an overdose of something, CBD doesn't come to mind. You're usually trying to kill yourself, and there's no known case of people killing themselves with CBD. So in terms of committing suicide and taking overdoses, people tend to do it with other things. So you just don't see this sort of thing. And so I don't really think that's an issue.
I have had some patients say they find that lower doses, especially of like the rest product, can really help them feel calm in a way that they want to go to sleep. And if they maybe take a little bit more, they'll wake up feeling a bit groggy. I think that's some of that is possible just coincident. Some of it is they're just not used to yet because it's initially getting deeper sleep and waking up out of that sleep properly. So I think with continued use that can be better. But really, it's not a risk. It's just you start at a lower dose and then you go up slowly to see, because taking too much, the biggest risk is your pocketbook getting a huge hit. Because as we said, these are not cheap products. They are high quality, affordable products, and when used appropriately, are in our opinion absolutely worth the cost. But you want to always start with anything at a lower dose and then go up as needed and find what you do well with.
Yes.
Some people that's higher, some people that's lower.
That's right. So, Susie, I'm interrupted here. Okay? This is actually a good question. So, Susie wants to know, hey, look, what can I replace melatonin with?
The CBD Rest.
That's it. One dropper full under your tongue an hour before you go to bed. Just let it sit under your tongue for a minute or so if you can, and then and then you can swallow. So Sam, I think that there's some real benefits to taking, and particularly in our patients, to taking this long term. I'd like to highlight just a few of the products that we carry and then tell you about a special. So I'll be talking about the Rest, and I really like this Rest. I take it myself before I go to bed, and it really helps me sleep better and to fall back to sleep easier, say if I get up to use the bathroom. To wake up feeling like I've slept very heavily, but without being tired, you see. So there's no groggy sedation type stuff the next day. I also use a lot of the Move. Now, Move is the full spectrum CBD plus some extra CBG. That's one of the oils in the plant. That's the one that's most responsible for an anti-inflammatory effect. So I'm not the kind of guy who tolerates Advil and Aleve and stuff like that very easily because it gives me heartburn. I can take this and I don't have to worry about it. Once or twice a day, a dropper full under my tongue, let it sit 30 seconds to a minute, then swallow. And that does that. I took it this morning. I hurt my shoulder, the golf swings over the weekend. I've been lifting weights too, and it was all sore, and I can't even feel it now. I did that 2 hours ago.
Yeah, this one's really good to do like in the morning.
Yeah.
And then like that one at night. So we have a lot of patients who do that kind of mix and match, which works out really, really well. This one has a nice flavor too. It's got ginger and honey in it.
Yep, that's right.
So lavender and vanilla, ginger and honey.
Just good stuff. We had the full and broad spectrum. We can explain the concept there. The broad spectrum has 0 THC. The full spectrum, in theory, has a very tiny amount, but not enough to make you high or anything. We have some muscle cream too.
And the difference is here, right? Like these creams and lotions that we're about to talk to, they are topical, right? It's not getting in orally and then into the bloodstream so that it can have an impact systemically. That's why these tinctures are so valuable. Getting it in through the bloodstream will really impact the brain and the nervous system and help with pain everywhere. So this muscle cream is phenomenal when you have like Dr. Simon's shoulder, right? If he took this and he said, you know what, that's a lot better, but I know there's still just a lot of inflammation in there. I really just rub some muscle cream. So you could definitely do both, which works out really well. And this is, I describe it as like a better version of Bengay because it's got that menthol in it that gives you that nice little like tingle. That stuff's phenomenal. We sell a ton of that. Yeah. I bet you do in Durham as well. Yeah,
it's you got a lot of fans of that. If you have musculoskeletal pain, that stuff works.
Yeah, it could be a joint, it could be a muscle, or it could be you tweaked your neck sleeping last night. It helps a lot. Nancy's commenting that she
wants to get the move. Yeah, y'all try it. I'm telling you, you'll like it. I use it. So look. How
do you buy this?
Yeah, right? Have it at the office.
Come into either office. You don't need an appointment. You don't need.
You'll get better pricing than you will on the internet.
Yeah.
And, I get some exclusive pricing on that, which I pass on to you. And I want to talk about that because we're going to run a special. And we haven't sent any announcements out about it, but because you're on this Facebook Live, you get the exclusive pre-sale news. Okay. So what I'm going to do for the next month, maybe longer, we'll see. So the full spectrum tinctures, we've been selling the 40 milligrams a dose, which is 1,200 milligrams a bottle. Okay. That's $40, which represents a half price savings. Now, I happen to know the owner of the company out there, Naternal. So I can negotiate stuff. I can even negotiate it on the golf course with him if I have to. So the 2,400 milligram bottle, which is 80 milligrams.
Double.
Twice the dose.
Twice the strength. For
the next month, it's $40.
Same price as
the 40 milligram. So we're going to be sending out announcements on email, so watch that. But I'm giving you the heads up now. And this is available in both offices right now. You will not find this price anywhere. Okay? And for attending this Facebook Live, for being our patient, we're passing that on to you as a way to say thanks, as a way to keep people excited about it, because I think it really helps a lot of people. Now, we have another comment.
Oh, we just have a couple people that joined us. Lauren, Susie, Bobby, thank you so much for entering a giveaway. And hi, Lauren.
Lauren, north of Seattle.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. And one thing we didn't touch on was we also have a butter, a body butter, and that is pretty luxurious. So we have our cream, we have our butter, and then we have our set of tinctures. And what's really exciting too about having a higher dose is I have a lot of patients ask
about the higher dose.
About the higher dose, and if there's a way that they could put less tincture under their tongue, right? If it's more concentrated, you use less, it lasts longer, or if you find that you do just need a higher dose, it gives you that option without having to do multiple droppers, which can be a lot to hold in your mouth. Right? We totally get that. So the higher concentration will take care of that as well.
That is correct. Yeah. So I want to talk about something else, give you a preview, because it's coming too. Look, I know that if you pay attention, if you have been living under a rock, this does not apply to you. But if you're not living under a rock, you may have heard about this whole Delta variant of the virus thing, you know, the coronavirus and the Delta variant and this, that, and the other. So we'll take a minute to say that if you've had the vaccination and both doses of the vaccination, you are not protected from contracting this virus. Okay, this is becoming clear. This Delta variant, you're not protected from it. You can contract it, and you can contract it fairly easily. So can the unvaccinated. Okay, now it is most likely that the vaccination provides some protection against ICU admission, death, ending up on a ventilator, these kind of bad outcomes, right? versus the unvaccinated crowd. I don't think all the data has come in on that, but enough is there that it seems that there's a benefit in this regard. I think it's an accurate statement of where we're at. So people ask me about this stuff, and rather than getting all trying to convert the unvaccinated to the vaccinated crowd or settle down the vaccinated people who are mad at the unvaccinated people, I don't want to have that argument, okay? Those are things that individually, if you want to talk to me about whether or not you want the vaccine, that's fine. I'll be glad to discuss your individual case with you. That's always been the kind of thing in the past that takes place between patients and providers, okay? But what I want to tell you is there's things you can do to protect yourself, okay, that don't involve getting the vaccine. Whether you have the vaccine or don't have the vaccine, you can do this either way. And we've kind of gotten so much into the vaccinated, unvaccinated argument that we've forgotten that there are things that you can be doing to protect yourself from significant infection from this virus, okay? So we've done all the homework for you, but the bottom line is inside your cells, zinc is what prevents the replication of this virus. If you just imagine that in the first couple of days that you get symptoms, that virus is replicating inside your cells, you want to stop that, because then that second phase is the inflammatory phase, and this is what takes people down. The idea, if you can stop the replication of the virus in the first couple of days, guess what? You don't have to get to that second phase, and zinc is what you got to have on board, and you got to have a transporter to get the zinc across cell membranes. The third thing is that vitamin D turns out to be a lot more important than we thought, okay? So I'm going to be bundling. I want you to watch your emails, because I'm going to bundle some Metagenics products that cover all these bases, things you can take on a daily basis that dramatically decrease your chance, if you contract this, of getting into trouble.
As well as other viruses.
Yeah, in my opinion, it also dramatically decreases the chance that you get it, right? So they have a product called Immune Active that's got a lot of these things in there that do what I'm talking about. Bundle it with some supplemental zinc to go with it. It already has zinc. I figured out a dose that's a little bit higher than what they got, so you can take 2 of these and get the right zinc dose per day. And we're going to bundle that with vitamin D, and we're going to come out with a special bundle pricing that won't be available anywhere. And this is stuff you can be proactive about, and this is stuff that I did the entire last year and all the way into this year, and I've never gotten a jam, ever. Okay, so I want you to know that that stuff's out there, and it's something you can do to be proactive, and I want you to watch your emails and for the announcements, okay? So Lauren said in the comments, I'm intolerant to the CBD.
Oh, she's interested.
She's interested.
She's interested
What?
in CBD. She's going to get it in October.
The
It'll be
computer's
here in
kind of
October.
far ways away. I got glasses now.
Come on in
Sorry about
October.
that. Yes.
We will have it
Yeah,
for
we
you.
will have it. And,
Absolutely. As well as the Metagenics products. And Metagenics is really a very, very high quality supplement line. If you haven't seen us talk about it on other AMAs, we have one devoted particularly to Metagenics and why it is such a valuable brand, just like Naternal. So check that out. We have a winner.
Yes. So Lauren,
you won our gift card.
Lauren Macon Hunt.
Yay.
You are the winner of the $25 gift card.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Check your
Check
emails.
your emails.
Share this video.
Look for announcements. Share the video. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Okay.